John Cena pushed the heavy barbell up one more time. Sweat dripped down his face as he finished his last set of bench presses. It was early morning at the gym, and only a few other people were working out. Cena liked coming early before the gym got crowded. It gave him time to think and focus. He sat up and grabbed his water bottle, taking a long drink. His muscles ached in that good way that came after a hard workout. Cena had been training for his next wrestling event, and he wanted to be in perfect shape. At 48 years old, he had to work harder than ever to stay strong and fast. But John Cena was not just a wrestler. Over the years, he had become known for something else too. He was known for helping people, especially children. He had granted more wishes for sick children than any other celebrity in history. More than 600 wishes. Every time a child asked to meet him, Cena found a way to make it happen. People often asked him why he spent so much time helping others. Cena always gave the same answer. He remembered what it was like to struggle. He remembered when his own family did not have much money. He remembered feeling powerless and scared. Now that he had success, he wanted to use it to help people who felt the same way he once did. Cena walked to the locker room to change his shirt. His phone was in his gym bag and he had turned it off during his workout. When he turned it back on, he saw 15 missed calls. Most of them were from his assistant, Sarah. That was unusual. Sarah knew not to bother him during his morning workout unless it was an emergency. Cena felt his heart beat a little faster. He quickly called her back. Sarah answered on the first ring. "John, thank God. Have you seen the posts?" "What posts?" "I was working out." "What is going on?" "There is a little girl on a bridge in Los Angeles. She is holding a sign that says SOS. People are posting about it on social media. John, she has your patch on her backpack." Cena felt his blood run cold. "What? Where?" "Send me the location right now. I am sending it to you now." "But John, the police are already there." "You do not need to. Send me the address, Sarah, right now." Cena did not wait for her response. He grabbed his bag and ran out of the gym. His car was in the parking lot and he jumped in without even changing out of his gym clothes. His phone buzzed with a text from Sarah. It was an address and a pin on a map. As Cena drove, he looked at the social media posts Sarah had sent him. There were photos and videos from different angles. A little girl, maybe 8 or 9 years old, standing on a pedestrian bridge. She was holding a cardboard sign. Even in the grainy phone photos, Cena could see the tears on her face. His hands gripped the steering wheel tighter. Who was this child? Why was she alone on a bridge? Where were her parents? One of the videos showed a closer view. Cena could see the girl's backpack. Sarah was right. There was a patch on it with his picture and his slogan, "Never give up." Seeing that patch made something twist in Cena's chest. This little girl was a fan of his. She believed in the message he shared, and now she was in trouble standing on a bridge asking for help. Cena pressed harder on the gas pedal. The bridge was only 10 minutes away. He weaved through traffic, his mind racing. What would he say to her? What if she was suicidal? What if he made things worse? No, he could not think like that. He had to try. If there was even a small chance he could help this child, he had to take it. As he got closer to the location, Cena saw the flashing lights of police cars. They had blocked off the area around the bridge. Officers were setting up barriers to keep people back. Cena could see a crowd gathering. Some people were filming with their phones. Others were just watching. Cena parked his car and ran toward the scene. A police officer stopped him. "Sir, you cannot go through here. This is a restricted area. I am John Cena. I think I can help. The girl on the bridge, she has my picture on her backpack. Maybe she will talk to me." The officer looked skeptical. "Sir, we have trained negotiators handling this situation. I understand that. But please, just let me talk to whoever is in charge. 5 minutes. That is all I am asking." The officer studied Cena's face. Recognition dawned in his eyes. "You are really John Cena?" "Yes, and I really want to help that little girl." The officer spoke into his radio. After a moment, he nodded to Cena. "Follow me." They walked through the police barriers to where a group of officers were standing. One of them, a woman with sergeant stripes on her uniform, turned as Cena approached. "Sergeant Rodriguez," the officer said. "This is John Cena. He says he might be able to help." Sergeant Rodriguez looked at Cena with tired eyes. "Mr. Cena, I appreciate you coming here. But we have a delicate situation. That little girl is very scared. We have been trying to talk to her for the past 20 minutes, but she will not respond to us." "What do you know about her?" Cena asked. Not much. We ran the plate of a car that was called in as possibly connected. The parents are on their way. The father is Miguel Martinez. The mother is Maria Martinez. The girl's name is Emma. She is 8 years old. 8 years old. Cena felt his heart break a little. She was so young. Has she said anything? Cena asked. Do you know why she is up there? She mentioned something about her family needing help. Something about money and food. But then she got scared when more officers arrived. She moved closer to the railing. Sergeant Rodriguez paused.
Mr. Cena, if she falls, she will not fall, Cena said firmly.
Let me talk to her, please. Sergeant Rodriguez looked at him for a long moment. Cena could see her weighing the options. Finally, she nodded. Okay, but you need to follow my instructions exactly. Approach slowly. Keep your hands where she can see them. Do not make any sudden movements. And if I tell you to back away, you back away immediately. Understood? Understood. Sergeant Rodriguez led Cena closer to the bridge. They stayed behind the police cars where Emma could not see them yet. One of my officers noticed the patch on her backpack. Rodriguez said. He mentioned it might be you. That is why I agreed to let you try. But Mr. Cena, if this does not work, if she gets more upset, you have to leave. I cannot risk her safety. I know. I will be careful. Cena took a deep breath and walked around the police car. Now he could see the bridge clearly. And there in the middle of it was Emma. She looked so small, so fragile. Her hair was blowing in the wind, and she was holding the cardboard sign with both hands. Even from this distance, Cena could see that she was crying. He started walking toward the bridge. His steps were slow and measured. He kept his hands at his sides where Emma could see them. As he got closer, Emma noticed him. Her eyes went wide. The sign dropped a few inches. Cena could see her mouth open in surprise. He kept walking slowly, carefully. When he was about 20 feet away, he stopped. Hey there, champion, Cena said. His voice was soft and gentle, nothing like his loud wrestling persona. My name is John. I heard you needed some help. Emma stared at him. Tears were streaming down her face. You are really him, she whispered. You are really John Cena. I am really me, Cena said with a small smile. And I am really here. Can we talk for a minute? Emma's hands were shaking. The sign trembled in her grip. I did not think anyone would come. I just wanted someone to help my family. Cena took one small step forward. I am here now, and I want to help. But first I need you to do something for me. Can you do that? Emma nodded slowly. I need you to take a few steps away from that railing. Just a few steps, that is all. Can you do that for me? Emma looked behind her at the railing. Then she looked back at Cena. She took one small step forward, then another. That is perfect, Cena said. That is really brave. You are being so brave right now. Behind him, Cena could hear the police officers talking quietly on their radios. He could hear Emma's parents arriving, their voices frantic and scared. But he blocked it all out. Right now, the only thing that mattered was this little girl and making sure she was safe. Emma, Cena said. That's your name, right, Emma? She nodded. Emma, I want to tell you something important. Asking for help is not weak. It is one of the bravest things a person can do. Do you believe that? Emma's chin trembled. My daddy says we do not need help. He says he can fix everything himself. But he cannot. We do not have food. We do not have money. And I was scared. I know you were scared, Cena said. And you know what? Your dad is scared too. Being a parent is hard. Sometimes adults think they have to fix everything alone, but that is not true. Everyone needs help sometimes. Even me. Even you? Emma asked. Even me, Cena confirmed. Can I tell you a secret? Emma nodded again. When I was young, my family struggled with money too. There were times we did not have much food. Times when my parents worried about paying bills. I remember feeling scared, just like you. But we got through it. And your family will get through this too. I promise you that. Emma's grip on the sign loosened. You promise? I promise. But I need you to trust me. Can you do that? For a long moment, Emma just looked at him. Cena could see her thinking, weighing whether to trust him. Finally, she dropped the sign. It fell to the ground of the bridge with a soft thud. Okay, Emma said in a small voice. I trust you. Cena felt relief wash over him. He held out his hand toward her. Will you come with me? Your parents are here. They are really worried about you. Emma's eyes went wide. Are they mad? No, champion. They are not mad. They love you very much. They just want to make sure you are safe. Slowly, Emma walked toward Cena. When she was close enough, she took his hand. Her small fingers wrapped around his large ones. Together, they walked off the bridge. Emma's hand felt tiny in John Cena's large grip. As they walked off the bridge together, Cena could feel her trembling. He kept his pace slow and steady, matching his steps to her small ones. He did not want to rush her or scare her. Right now, she needed to feel safe. The police officers watched them approach. Sergeant Rodriguez had her radio in hand, speaking quietly to someone. When she saw Cena and Emma getting closer, she lowered the radio and nodded at him. Her expression showed relief. But then Cena heard other voices. Frantic, desperate voices calling out a name. Emma, Emma! A woman broke through the police line, running toward them. She was crying so hard she could barely breathe. Behind her was a man, also running, his face twisted with fear and relief at the same time. Emma looked up and saw her parents. Mama, Papa! She let go of Cena's hand and ran. Her mother dropped to her knees and caught Emma in her arms, hugging her so tightly it looked like she would never let go. Emma's father wrapped his arms around both of them, and the three of them stayed like that, crying and holding each other. Cena stood back and watched. He felt a lump form in his throat. This was why he did what he did. This was why he always said yes when someone needed help. Because moments like this mattered more than anything else in the world. Maria Martinez looked up at Cena, tears streaming down her face. Thank you, she said in a choked voice. Thank you so much. I do not know what would have happened if you had not come. You do not need to thank me, Cena said. I am just glad Emma is safe. Miguel Martinez stood up, still holding Emma's hand. He looked at Cena and there were tears in his eyes too. I am her father. I should have been there. I should have known she was hurting this much. You are here now, Cena said gently. That is what matters. Sergeant Rodriguez approached them. Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, we need to ask you some questions. We also need to make sure Emma is okay. There is a paramedic here who needs to check her. Maria nodded but did not let go of Emma. Can I stay with her? Of course, Rodriguez said. We just need to make sure she is not hurt. A paramedic came over with a medical bag. She was a young woman with kind eyes and a gentle smile. Hi, Emma, she said. My name is Lisa. I am just going to check you really quickly to make sure you are okay. Is that all right? Emma nodded and held her mother's hand tighter. While the paramedic checked Emma, Cena stood with Miguel. The man looked broken. His shoulders were slumped and he kept running his hand through his hair. This is my fault, Miguel said quietly. I have been so focused on finding a job, on trying to fix everything myself, that I did not see what this was doing to my daughter. You were trying to take care of your family, Cena said. That is not a bad thing. But I made Emma feel like she had to do this. She is 8 years old. She should not have to worry about money and food and bills. That is my job. Cena put a hand on Miguel's shoulder. Can I talk to you honestly? Just between us? Miguel looked at him and nodded. I grew up in a family that struggled, Cena said. My dad worked hard, sometimes 2 or 3 jobs at once. But there were still times when we did not have enough. Times when we needed help. And you know what the hardest part was? What? Watching my dad hurt himself trying to do everything alone. He thought asking for help meant he was failing as a father. But he was wrong. The strongest thing he ever did was finally accepting help when we needed it. Miguel's eyes filled with tears again. I just wanted to provide for my family. I wanted to be the man they could depend on. You are that man, Cena said firmly. You are here. You showed up. You love your daughter and your wife. That is what makes you a good father, not how much money you have, not whether you can fix everything yourself. It is about loving your family and doing whatever it takes to keep them safe and together. Miguel wiped his eyes. I do not know what to do anymore. I have been looking for work for months. The bills keep piling up. We are going to lose our apartment. That is going to change, Cena said. Today, right now. Miguel looked confused. What do you mean? I mean you are not alone in this anymore. There are people who can help. Resources you probably do not even know about. And I am going to make sure you get connected to all of them. Why would you do that? You do not even know us. Cena looked over at Emma, who was still getting checked by the paramedic. She looked so small and scared. Because that little girl is brave enough to ask for help when her family needed it. The least I can do is make sure that help actually comes. The paramedic finished her examination. Emma is fine physically. No injuries. But I would recommend she see a counselor. Going through something like this can be traumatic for a child. We will make sure of that, Sergeant Rodriguez said. She turned to Miguel and Maria. We need to fill out some reports about what happened here today. And we need to contact Child Protective Services. Maria's face went pale. Are you going to take Emma away from us? No, Rodriguez said quickly. This is just procedure. When a child is in a situation like this, we have to make sure they have the support they need at home. CPS will evaluate your situation and help connect you with resources, food assistance, housing help, things like that. Cena pulled out his phone and called Sarah. She answered immediately. John, is everything okay? Everything is okay. The little girl is safe, but I need you to do something for me. I need you to get me the contact information for every social service agency in Los Angeles. Food banks, housing assistance, job placement programs, everything. And I need you to call my lawyer. I want to set something up. Set what up? I will explain later. Just get me those contacts and have my lawyer call me as soon as possible. Cena hung up and turned back to the Martinez family. Emma had finished with the paramedic and was now sitting on the back of an ambulance, wrapped in a blanket even though it was not cold. Maria sat beside her, an arm around her shoulders. Miguel stood nearby, looking lost. Cena walked over to them. Emma, can I sit with you for a minute? Emma nodded. Cena sat down on the ambulance bumper next to her. For a moment, they just sat there in silence. I am sorry, Emma said in a small voice. What are you sorry for? For making everyone worried. For being on the bridge. For making you come here when you were probably busy. Cena turned to look at her. Emma, look at me. She lifted her eyes to meet his. You do not have anything to be sorry for. You were scared and you asked for help. That takes courage. Do you know what courage means? It means being brave. It means doing something even when you are scared. And that is exactly what you did. You were brave today. But I made my parents upset. Your parents are upset because they love you. They are upset because they wish they could fix everything for you. But sometimes even parents need help. And that is okay. Emma was quiet for a moment. Then she said, You said your family struggled too? We did. When I was young, there were times when we did not have much. My dad worked really hard, but sometimes it was not enough. I remember going to bed hungry some nights. I remember my mom crying when she thought we could not hear her. What happened? How did your family get better? We accepted help when it was offered. My dad finally talked to people at our church. They helped us with food and clothes. They helped my dad find a better job. It was hard for my dad to ask, but once he did, things started to get better. Will things get better for my family? Cena put his arm around Emma's shoulders. Yes, I promise you they will. But you have to promise me something too. What? Promise me that you will never do something like this again. If you are scared or worried, you talk to your parents. Or you talk to a teacher. Or you call someone. But you never put yourself in danger like this. Deal? Emma nodded. Deal. And one more thing. You see that patch on your backpack? The one with my picture? Emma looked down at her backpack, which was sitting next to her. Yeah? It says never give up on it. Do you know why that is my motto? Because you never give up in wrestling matches. Cena smiled. That is part of it. But the real reason is because I learned that no matter how hard life gets, no matter how difficult things seem, there is always a way forward. You just have to keep trying. Keep fighting. Keep asking for help when you need it. Never give up on yourself or your family. I will not give up, Emma said. Good. Because you are a fighter, Emma, you proved that today. Sergeant Rodriguez came over to them. Mr. Cena, the media is starting to gather. They heard you were here. We can get you out through the back if you want to avoid them. Cena thought about it. Usually he tried to keep his charitable work private. He did not do it for attention or praise. He did it because it was the right thing to do. But maybe this time was different. Maybe Emma's story could help other families who were struggling. Maybe it could encourage people to ask for help instead of suffering in silence. Actually, Cena said, I think I will talk to them, but only if the Martinez family wants me to. This is their story, not mine. He looked at Miguel and Maria. What do you think? Are you okay with me talking to the media about what happened today? Miguel and Maria looked at each other. Cena could see them having a silent conversation. Finally, Miguel nodded. If it will help other families, Miguel said, then yes. Tell them our story. Cena stood up. Okay, but I am going to make sure they know that Emma is a hero. She did something incredibly brave today, even if it scared all of us. And I'm going to make sure people know that asking for help is not shameful. It is strong. He walked toward where the media had gathered. There were reporters from several news stations. Cameras pointed at him. As he approached, they started shouting questions. Mr. Cena, what happened here today? Is it true you saved a little girl's life? Why were you at this location? Cena held up his hand and the reporters quieted down. He took a breath and began to speak. Today I met one of the bravest people I have ever known. Her name is Emma, and she is 8 years old. Emma's family has been going through a very difficult time. They have been struggling financially, and Emma saw how much it was hurting her parents. So she did something that took incredible courage. She asked for help. The cameras clicked and flashed. Cena continued. Emma's story is not unique. Right now, all across this city, all across this country, there are families who are struggling, families who do not have enough food, families who are facing eviction, families who are one emergency away from disaster. And too often these families suffer in silence because they think asking for help is shameful. But it is not shameful. It is human. We all need help sometimes, every single one of us. And there is no shame in reaching out when you are drowning. There is only courage. A reporter called out, "What is going to happen to Emma and her family?" Emma and her family are going to get the help they need. Starting today, starting right now, I am personally going to make sure they are connected with every resource available. And I am calling on this community to support families like the Martinez family. We have food banks. We have housing programs. We have job training services. We need to make sure people know about these resources and that they feel safe using them. Another reporter asked, "Are you going to provide financial support to the family?" I am going to do whatever is needed to help this family get back on their feet. But more importantly, I'm going to use my platform to raise awareness about this issue, because Emma should not have felt like she had to stand on a bridge with a sign to get help. That is on all of us. We need to do better. Cena looked back at Emma, who was watching him from the ambulance. He gave her a thumbs up and she gave him a small smile. "One more thing," Cena said to the cameras. "Emma has a patch on her backpack. It says, 'Never give up.' That is my motto. And today Emma showed me what that really means. It means fighting for your family. It means asking for help when you need it. It means refusing to give up even when things are hard." He looked directly into the nearest camera. If you are out there struggling, if you are scared and do not know what to do, please reach out. Talk to someone. Call a hotline. Go to a food bank. Ask for help, because you are not alone. There are people who care. There are people who want to help. You just have to let them. With that, Cena turned and walked back to Emma and her family. The reporters kept shouting questions, but he ignored them. He had said what he needed to say. Now it was time to make good on his promises. After Cena finished talking to the media, he returned to where Emma sat with her parents. A social worker had arrived, a woman named Patricia Chen, who worked for Child Protective Services. She was talking quietly with Maria and Miguel, taking notes on a clipboard. Cena waited until they finished their conversation before approaching. Patricia looked up and recognized him immediately. "Mr. Cena, I am Patricia Chen. I work with CPS. I want you to know that what you did today was remarkable." "Thank you," Cena said. "But I am more concerned about what happens next for this family." Patricia nodded seriously. "I have been explaining to Mr. and Mrs. Martinez that we are here to help, not to punish. Based on what I have seen and heard today, this is a family that needs support, not intervention." "What kind of support?" Miguel asked. His voice was cautious, like he was afraid to hope. "Well, first we need to address the immediate needs: food, housing, security, and employment. The Martinez family qualifies for emergency food assistance. I can get you signed up for that today. There is also a program called Emergency Housing Assistance that can help with rent." "We are already 2 weeks behind on rent," Maria said quietly. "Our landlord says if we do not pay by Friday, he will start eviction proceedings." Patricia made a note. "How much do you owe?" $1,200 for this month plus $800 from last month. $2,000 total. Miguel's face flushed with embarrassment. "We do not have it. I have been trying to find work, but nothing has come through." Cena had been listening carefully. He pulled out his phone and sent a quick text to Sarah. Within seconds, she responded. "What kind of work did you do before?" Cena asked Miguel. "I was a warehouse supervisor. I managed inventory and shipping. I did that job for 7 years before the company closed. What about other skills? What else can you do?" Miguel thought for a moment. I have a forklift certification. I know how to use inventory management software. I am good with numbers and organizing things, and I am a hard worker. I never missed a day of work in 7 years. Cena nodded. He was forming a plan in his mind. Patricia, what other services are available? There is a job training and placement program through the city. They work with people who have been unemployed for extended periods. They help with resume writing, interview skills, and they have connections with employers who are hiring. Sign them up, Cena said. I can do that. But there is usually a waiting list. I do not care about the waiting list. This family needs help now, not next month now. Cena's voice was firm but not angry. I will personally call whoever I need to call to make this happen quickly. Patricia looked at him for a long moment, then smiled slightly. I think I can expedite the process. While Patricia made phone calls, Cena sat down next to Emma again. She had been quiet, listening to all the adults talk. Her face looked tired and sad. How are you doing, champion? Cena asked. I am scared, Emma admitted. What are you scared of? That my parents will be mad at me? That I caused too much trouble? Cena looked over at Maria and Miguel, who were talking with Patricia. Your parents are not mad at you, Emma. They are worried about you. There is a big difference. What is the difference? When someone is mad, they are angry because you did something wrong. But when someone is worried, it is because they love you and want you to be safe. Your parents love you very much. Emma picked at the blanket that was still wrapped around her shoulders. I heard them fighting this morning. They were saying bad things. They were so upset. What kind of things were they saying? My mama said we do not have money for food. My papa said he would figure it out, but he sounded like he did not really believe it. And then something broke. I think my mama threw a cup or something. Cena felt his heart ache for this little girl. She had been carrying such a heavy burden for someone so young. Emma, can I tell you something about parents? She nodded. Parents are human beings. They make mistakes. They get scared and angry and frustrated just like everyone else. And sometimes, when they are really stressed, they fight with each other. But that does not mean they do not love each other. And it definitely does not mean they do not love you. But what if they get a divorce? Some kids at school have parents who got divorced. Is that what you are worried about? Emma's eyes filled with tears. I do not want my family to break apart. I want us to stay together. Cena pulled Emma into a hug. She cried against his shoulder and he just held her and let her cry. Sometimes that was all someone needed. Just someone to hold them and tell them it was going to be okay. After a few moments, Maria noticed and came over. Emma, baby, are you okay? Emma looked up at her mother. Mama, are you and Papa going to get divorced? Maria's face showed shock and pain. What? No, baby. Why would you think that? You were fighting this morning. You threw something, and you have been fighting a lot lately. Maria sat down and took Emma's hands in hers. Oh, mi amor. Your papa and I are not getting divorced. We were fighting because we are stressed about money. But we love each other very much. And we love you more than anything in the world. Miguel came over too. He knelt down in front of Emma so he could look her in the eyes. Emma, your mother is right. We are not splitting up. We are a family, and families stick together, especially when times are hard. But I heard you fighting. I know, Miguel said. His voice was thick with emotion. And I am sorry you heard that. Your mother and I should not have been fighting like that, especially where you could hear us. We were both scared and frustrated, but we should have handled it better. Are you still scared? Emma asked. Miguel looked at Maria, then back at Emma. I am a little scared, but I am also hopeful now, because people are going to help us. We are not alone in this anymore. Patricia came back over. Okay, I have some good news. I got Mr. Martinez an appointment with the job placement program tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. I also got you approved for emergency food assistance. You can pick up a food box today from the downtown location, and I talked to a program that helps with emergency rent assistance. They need some paperwork from you, but they can potentially help with the back rent. Maria started crying again, but this time they were tears of relief. Thank you. Thank you so much. There is one more thing, Patricia said. Emma needs to see a counselor. What she went through today was traumatic, and I want to make sure she has professional support to process it. We cannot afford a counselor, Miguel said. There are free counseling services for children in crisis situations. I'm going to set up an appointment for Emma this week. Is that okay? Maria nodded. Yes, whatever Emma needs. Cena's phone buzzed. It was a message from Sarah saying his lawyer was on the line. Cena excused himself and walked a few feet away to take the call. "Marcus, thanks for calling me back so quickly." "Of course," his lawyer said. Sarah said it was urgent. "What do you need?" "I need to set up a fund for a family. I want to make sure they have what they need to get back on their feet. I am thinking enough to cover their back rent, first month's rent on a new place if they need it, and some money for food and expenses while the father finds work." "How much are we talking about?" "I am thinking $10,000 to start, but I want it set up so they cannot access it all at once. I want it structured so it helps them build stability, not just gives them a handout. I can do that. I can set up a trust with monthly disbursements and specific approved expenses." "Do you want your name attached to this?" Cena thought about it. "No, I want it to be anonymous. Can we do it through a foundation or something?" "I can set up a charitable fund. It will take a few days to process. That is fine. Just get it done as soon as possible. And Marcus? Keep this quiet. I do not want media attention on this part. The family has been through enough." "Understood. I will start the paperwork today." Cena hung up and walked back to the Martinez family. They were still talking with Patricia, filling out forms and writing down information. "Mr. and Mrs. Martinez," Cena said. "Can I talk to you privately for a moment?" They looked surprised but followed him a few feet away from where Emma was sitting. "I want to help your family," Cena said. "I am going to set up a fund that will help with your rent and other expenses while you get back on your feet." Miguel's eyes widened. "Mr. Cena, we cannot accept that. You have already done so much." "You can and you will," Cena said firmly, "because this is not just about you. This is about Emma. She needs to know that when someone asks for help, help actually comes. She needs to see that there are good people in the world who care about families like yours." "But this is too much," Maria said. "We are strangers to you." "You are not strangers. You are a family who needed help, and I am in a position to give it. That is all that matters." Cena looked at both of them seriously. "Here's what I need from you in return. I need you to accept the help that people are offering. I need you to use the resources that Patricia is connecting you with, and I need you to take care of Emma and each other." Miguel's eyes filled with tears. "I do not know what to say." "You do not have to say anything. Just promise me that when you are back on your feet, when things are better, you will help someone else who needs it. Pay it forward. That is all I ask." Maria hugged Cena, crying into his shoulder. "Thank you. Thank you so much. You saved our family today." Cena hugged her back. "Emma saved your family today. She was brave enough to ask for help. I just made sure the help came." They talked for a while longer, working out details and making plans. The social worker gave them a folder full of information and appointments. The police finished their reports and let the family go. As the sun started to set, Cena walked with the Martinez family to their car. It was old and beaten up, with a dent in the side and a cracked taillight. But it ran, and that was what mattered. Emma hugged Cena one more time before getting in the car. "Thank you for saving me." "You are welcome, champion. Remember what I said. Never give up." "Never give up," Emma repeated. As Cena watched them drive away, he felt his phone buzz again. It was a message from Sarah asking if he was okay and if he needed anything. He typed back, "I am good. Just helped a family that needed it. Can you send me the contact info for that children's charity we work with? I want to make a donation in Emma's name." Sarah responded immediately, "Already done. I donated $10,000 to the local food bank in your name." "I figured you would want to do something." Cena smiled. Sarah knew him well. He got in his car and sat there for a moment, thinking about everything that had happened that day. He had woken up that morning planning to work out and prepare for his next wrestling event. Instead, he had spent the day helping a little girl and her family, and honestly, it was the best day he had had in a long time. As he drove home, Cena thought about Emma's face when she first saw him on the bridge. The shock and disbelief, the hope that someone had actually come to help her. That was why he did this. That was why he always said yes when someone needed help. Because everyone deserved to have someone show up for them. Everyone deserved to have hope. Emma had been brave enough to ask. Cena had been in a position to answer, and together they had built a bridge between despair and hope. That was what mattered. Not the fame or the money or the recognition, just the simple act of being there when someone needed help. Cena's phone rang as he pulled into his driveway. It was Patricia, the social worker. "Mr. Cena, I wanted to update you. I got the Martinez family approved for the emergency rent assistance program. They will have their back rent covered by the end of the week. That is great news. And Mr. Martinez's appointment tomorrow morning? The program director called me personally and said they are going to prioritize his case. They have some connections with warehouses that are hiring. She thinks she can get him placed within 2 weeks. Thank you for making that happen, Patricia. Thank you for caring enough to push for it. Most people would have walked away after getting the girl off the bridge. But you stayed. You made sure real help was coming. That means everything. After hanging up, Cena sat in his car for a few more minutes. He thought about what Patricia had said. Most people would have walked away, but Cena had learned a long time ago that showing up was only half the battle. Following through was what really mattered. Anyone could make promises, but keeping those promises, that took commitment. He got out of his car and went inside. Tomorrow he would go back to training for his next event. He would lift weights and run drills and prepare to entertain millions of people. But tonight, he would sleep well knowing that he had made a real difference in one family's life. And sometimes, that was enough. 3 weeks had passed since that day on the bridge. Emma Martinez sat at the small kitchen table in their apartment doing her homework. The apartment looked different now. There was food in the refrigerator. The bills on the counter were sorted into neat piles instead of scattered everywhere in red envelopes. And most importantly, her parents were smiling again. Emma's father had gotten a job. It had happened faster than anyone expected. 2 days after the incident on the bridge, Miguel had gone to his appointment at the job placement program. The counselor there had looked at his resume and made some calls. By the end of that week, Miguel had 3 job interviews scheduled. The first interview was at a large warehouse that supplied parts to car manufacturers. The manager had seen the news story about Emma and recognized Miguel's name. Instead of a standard interview, they talked for over an hour. The manager shared his own story about struggling to support his family years ago. By the end of the conversation, Miguel had a job offer. He started work the following Monday. The pay was not amazing, but it was steady. It was enough. Miguel came home every evening tired but happy. He was providing for his family again, and Emma could see how much that meant to him. Emma's mother was doing better too. The medical bills were still there, but they had worked out a payment plan that her family could afford. Maria was seeing a doctor regularly now, and the medicine she needed was covered by a program Patricia had found for them. She had more energy and smiled more often. Emma herself had been seeing a counselor named Dr. Sarah Kim. Dr. Kim was kind and patient. She never made Emma feel bad about what had happened on the bridge. Instead, she helped Emma understand her feelings and taught her better ways to cope when she was scared or worried. You are a sensitive and caring person, Dr. Kim had told Emma during their last session. You feel things deeply and you want to help the people you love. Those are good qualities. But you are a child, Emma. It is not your job to fix adult problems. Your job is to be 8 years old. Emma was learning that it was okay to be a kid. It was okay to not worry about bills and rent and money. Those were her parents' responsibilities, not hers. One Saturday afternoon, there was a knock on the apartment door. Emma's mother opened it and her face lit up with surprise and joy. Mr. Cena. John Cena stood in the doorway, holding a large bag of groceries and wearing a big smile. I hope it is okay that I stopped by. I wanted to see how everyone was doing. Maria quickly invited him in. Of course. Please come in. Miguel, Emma! Come here. Emma ran from her room when she heard Cena's voice. Her face broke into a huge smile. John! She had started calling him John instead of Mr. Cena after he told her it was okay. He said champions did not need to be formal with each other. Cena set down the groceries and gave Emma a hug. Hey, champion. How have you been? Good. I got an A on my math test and I have been seeing Dr. Kim and my papa got a job. I heard about the job. That is fantastic. Cena looked at Miguel, who had come out from the bedroom. Congratulations, Miguel. How is the work going? Miguel shook Cena's hand firmly. It is going very well. The people there are good and the work is steady. I cannot thank you enough for everything you did to help us. You are doing the hard work, Cena said. I just helped open some doors. You are the one who walked through them. Maria brought out glasses of water for everyone and they sat in the small living room. The furniture was old and mismatched, but it was clean and comfortable. On the wall was a new picture. It was a photo from the day on the bridge. A news photographer had captured the moment when Cena first took Emma's hand. The Martinez family had framed it and hung it where they could see it every day. I see you kept the photo, Cena said. It reminds us of how far we have come, Maria explained. That was our worst day, but it was also the day things started to get better. We never want to forget that. Emma sat next to Cena on the couch. John, can I tell you something? Of course. You can tell me anything. I was really scared that day. When I was on the bridge, I did not really know what I was doing. I just knew we needed help and I did not know how else to ask for it. Cena nodded seriously. That must have been very scary. It was. But when I saw you coming, I felt like maybe things would be okay. You always say never give up. And I was trying so hard not to give up. I was trying to be brave like you. Emma, I need to tell you something important. Can you listen carefully? She nodded. You do not need to be brave like me. You need to be brave like you. Because you know what? I think you are one of the bravest people I have ever met. You did what you thought you had to do to help your family. That took courage. But I also want you to promise me something. What? If you are ever scared or worried again, you talk to your parents or Dr. Kim or a teacher. You do not do something dangerous, okay? I promise, Dr. Kim has been teaching me about better ways to ask for help. That is good. I am really proud of you. Miguel cleared his throat. Mr. Cena, we have been wanting to ask you something. Please call me John. What is it? We want to find a way to thank you properly. Not just with words. You changed our lives. If there is anything we can do for you, anything at all, please tell us. Cena thought for a moment. Actually, there is something. Name it, Maria said. Whatever you need. I want you to promise me that when you are stable, when things are good, you will help another family that is struggling. Maybe donate to a food bank. Maybe volunteer your time somewhere. Maybe just be there for a neighbor who needs a friend. That is how you can thank me, by paying it forward. Miguel and Maria looked at each other and smiled. We can do that, Miguel said. In fact, we already started. Last week, I met a man at work who is going through something similar to what we went through. His company closed and he has a family to support. I told him about all the resources that helped us. I gave him Patricia's number and the names of the programs that helped me find work. That is perfect, Cena said. That is exactly what I am talking about. They talked for a while longer, catching up and sharing stories. Cena told Emma about his upcoming wrestling event. Emma told him about school and her friends and the book she was reading. After about an hour, Cena stood up to leave. I should get going. But I want you all to know that I am so proud of how far you have come. You took a terrible situation and turned it around. That takes strength. We could not have done it without you, Maria said. You could have. It might have taken longer and the path might have been harder, but you would have found a way. Because you are fighters, all of you. Emma walked Cena to the door. Before he left, she hugged him one more time. Thank you for being my hero, John. Cena knelt down so he was at her eye level. Emma, I am not your hero. You know who your heroes should be? Who? Your parents. They work hard every day to take care of you. They love you more than anything in the world. They are the ones who are there for you every single day, not just once. They are your real heroes. Emma looked back at her parents, who were standing in the living room watching. Then she looked at Cena and smiled. Can I have two heroes? Them and you? Cena laughed. Okay, you can have two heroes. But they get the top spot. Deal. As Cena drove away from the Martinez apartment, he felt that familiar sense of satisfaction. This was why he did what he did. This was why he made time to visit families he had helped even when his schedule was packed. Because it mattered. Because showing people that someone cared about them mattered. Because following through on promises mattered. 2 weeks later, Cena was in the middle of a training session when Sarah called him. John, you need to see this. See what? Check your email. Right now. Cena pulled out his phone and opened his email. There was a message from Patricia Chen, the social worker. The subject line said, You need to see what the Martinez family is doing. Cena opened the email and read, John, I wanted to update you on the Martinez family. Miguel and Maria have started a small support group for families who are struggling financially. They meet once a week at their church. They share resources, support each other, and help each other navigate the social services system. Last week, they had 12 families attend. Miguel helped 3 fathers find job leads. Maria is teaching other mothers how to access the medical assistance programs that helped her. And Emma? She made welcome cards for all the new families that come to the group. She draws pictures and writes never give up on each one. They are calling the group Emma's Bridge, because they say it helps families bridge the gap between struggling and stability. I thought you would want to know that your kindness has created a ripple effect that is helping dozens of families now." Cena read the email twice. Then he sat down on a bench in the gym and just smiled. This was it. This was the point of everything. Not just helping one family, but inspiring them to help others, creating a chain of kindness that kept growing and spreading. He called Patricia back. "I just read your email. Isn't it amazing? The Martinez family has become leaders in their community. They are doing so much good. Can you send me the details about their support group? I want to see if there is any way I can help support what they are doing. I will send you everything. But John, they are not doing this because they expect anything from you. They are doing it because you showed them that helping people is what matters most." "I know, but that does not mean I cannot support their work. If they are helping families, I want to help them help those families." A few days later, Cena arranged for a grant through his foundation to help Emma's bridge. The money would help them rent a bigger space, provide food at their meetings, and create resource packets for new families. He did not tell the Martinez family it was from him. He had the foundation make it an anonymous donation. This was their project, their way of giving back. He did not need credit for it. 1 month after his visit to the Martinez apartment, Cena got another surprise. He received an invitation in the mail. It was from Emma's school. They were having a special assembly and they wanted Cena to be the guest speaker. Cena almost said no. His schedule was packed, and he had 3 events that week. But when he saw that Emma had written him a personal note on the invitation, he could not refuse. "Dear John, please come to my school. I told everyone about how you helped my family, and they want to meet you. You always say never give up, and I think the other kids need to hear that message too. Love, Emma." So Cena cleared his schedule and went to Emma's school. The auditorium was packed with students, teachers, and parents. When Cena walked onto the stage, the kids went wild. They were cheering and chanting his name. But what struck Cena most was seeing Emma in the front row. She was sitting with her parents, and all 3 of them were smiling bigger than he had ever seen. Cena talked to the students about working hard and being kind. He talked about the importance of asking for help when you needed it. He talked about community and supporting each other, and then he did something unexpected. He called Emma up onto the stage. Emma looked surprised and a little scared, but she came up anyway. Cena put his hand on her shoulder and spoke to the crowd. "This young lady right here is one of the bravest people I know. A few months ago, her family was going through a very hard time, and instead of giving up, Emma asked for help. She showed courage that most adults do not have. And because of her bravery, not only is her family doing better now, but they are helping other families too." Emma started a chain reaction of kindness that is still growing today. The crowd erupted in applause. Emma's face turned red, but she was smiling. Cena continued, "I want all of you to remember something. Asking for help is not weak, it is strong. Being kind is not soft, it is powerful. And caring about others is not foolish. It is the most important thing you can do." Emma taught me that, and I think we can all learn something from her example. After the assembly, dozens of students came up to meet Cena and Emma. They wanted autographs and pictures, but Cena noticed something interesting. The kids were not just excited to meet him. They were excited to meet Emma too. She had become a hero in her own right. As Cena was leaving the school, Emma's teacher pulled him aside. "Mr. Cena, I want you to know something. Emma has changed since everything that happened. She is more confident. She participates more in class. She is kinder to other students. She even started a kindness club where students do nice things for each other. You gave her more than help that day. You gave her hope and purpose." Cena felt his chest tighten with emotion. She did that herself. "I just showed up. Sometimes showing up is everything." As Cena drove home that evening, he thought about how one moment could change so many lives. If he had not seen those social media posts, if he had not driven to that bridge, if he had not taken the time to really help the Martinez family, instead of just getting Emma off the bridge and walking away, so many things could have been different. But they were not. Because sometimes the universe puts you exactly where you need to be at exactly the right time. And when that happens, you show up. You help, you care, you follow through. Because that is what heroes do. Not the heroes in movies or wrestling rings, but the real heroes. The ones who help when someone needs it. The ones who turn tragedy into hope. the ones who build bridges between despair and tomorrow. 6 months had passed since the day Emma Martinez stood on that bridge with her cardboard sign. It was now spring, and the whole city seemed to be waking up from a long sleep. Flowers were blooming, the weather was warm, and life felt full of possibility. Emma sat in the back seat of her family's car as they drove through Los Angeles. They had left their old apartment 2 months ago and moved to a better neighborhood. The new place had 2 bedrooms, so Emma did not have to sleep on the couch anymore. It had a small backyard where her mother was growing tomatoes and herbs. It felt like a real home. Her father was driving, humming along to the radio. He did that a lot now. Miguel had been promoted at work. He was now a shift supervisor, which came with better pay and benefits. More importantly, he was happy. The stress lines on his face had softened, and he smiled easily these days. In the passenger seat, Maria was checking her phone. She had started working part-time at a local community center, helping other families navigate the social services system. It was perfect for her. She understood what struggling families were going through because she had been there herself. The families she helped trusted her because she was not just some counselor from a book. She had lived it. "Are we almost there?" Emma asked from the back seat. "Almost," her father said. "Are you excited?" Emma nodded enthusiastically. They were going to a wrestling event. A real live wrestling event, and not just any event. John Cena was going to be there. He had sent them tickets weeks ago with a note that said, "Would love to see you all there." John, the tickets were amazing seats. They were close to the ring where they would be able to see everything. Emma had been counting down the days since the tickets arrived. Emma's bridge support group had grown beyond anything the Martinez family had expected. What started as 12 families meeting in a church basement had expanded to over 40 families. They had to move to a bigger space. Local businesses had started donating food and supplies. Volunteers from the community came to help. Just last week, a local news station had done a story about Emma's bridge. They interviewed Miguel and Maria about how their own struggle had inspired them to help others. The reporter had called them community heroes. Miguel had been embarrassed by the attention, but Maria had handled it gracefully. "We are not heroes," Maria had told the reporter. "We are just people who got help when we needed it, and now we want to give that help to others." It is that simple, but it was not simple at all. What the Martinez family was doing was changing lives. 3 fathers had found jobs through connections made at Emma's bridge. 5 families had avoided eviction because they learned about emergency assistance programs. 2 mothers had gotten help for their medical issues. Dozens of children had enough food because their parents found out about food banks and assistance programs. The ripple effect John Cena had talked about was real. One family helping another family who then helped another family. The chain kept growing. As they pulled into the parking lot of the arena, Emma could barely contain her excitement. There were thousands of people streaming toward the entrance, all wearing wrestling shirts and carrying signs. The energy was electric. "Look at all the people," Emma said, pressing her face against the car window. "Wrestling is very popular," Miguel said with a smile. "John Cena is one of the biggest stars in the world." They parked and made their way toward the entrance. Emma held tight to her mother's hand, a little overwhelmed by the crowd. Inside the arena, the noise was even louder. Music was blasting. People were cheering. Vendors were selling snacks and souvenirs. "Can I get a John Cena shirt?" Emma asked. "Of course," her father said. He bought Emma a shirt with Cena's picture on it and his motto, "Never give up." Emma put it on right away over her other shirt. They found their seats and Emma gasped. They were so close to the ring. She could see everything. The canvas, the ropes, the announcer's table. This was going to be amazing. As they waited for the show to start, Emma pulled something out of her pocket. It was a sign she had made at home. She had spent hours on it, making sure every letter was perfect. The sign said, "Thank you, John Cena, you saved my family." She had decorated it with drawings of hearts and stars. In one corner, she had drawn a small picture of the bridge where John had found her. It reminded her how far they had come. The lights in the arena suddenly went dark. The crowd roared. Music started playing, and the first wrestlers came out. For the next 2 hours, Emma watched in amazement as wrestlers performed incredible moves, told dramatic stories, and gave everything they had to entertain the crowd. But Emma was waiting for one wrestler in particular. She was waiting for John. Finally, near the end of the show, John Cena's music hit. The entire arena exploded with noise. People jumped to their feet, screaming and cheering. Emma stood up too, holding her sign high above her head. John Cena ran down the entrance ramp, waving to the crowd. He was wearing his signature shorts and wristbands. His smile was huge as he slapped hands with fans on his way to the ring. As he ran past Emma's section, she waved her sign frantically. For a second, she thought he might not see it. There were so many people, so many signs. But then John looked in her direction. His eyes found her sign, found her, and his whole face lit up. He stopped running. Right there in the middle of his entrance, John Cena stopped. He pointed directly at Emma. Then he gave her his signature hand gesture, the one that meant, "You can't see me." Emma jumped up and down, screaming with joy. John had seen her.
He had actually seen her.
The people around Emma realized something special was happening. They started cheering louder, looking to see who John was pointing at. When they saw Emma's sign, they understood. John climbed into the ring and grabbed a microphone. The crowd quieted down, waiting to hear what he had to say. "Ladies and gentlemen," John said, his voice booming through the arena, "before we get started with this match, I need to take a minute to recognize someone very special who is here tonight." The camera crew started looking around, trying to figure out who John was talking about. 6 months ago, I met one of the bravest people I have ever known. Her name is Emma Martinez. She is 8 years old, and she taught me what real courage looks like. "Emma, are you out there?" A spotlight swung around and landed on Emma. The big screens in the arena showed her face. Emma froze, suddenly aware that thousands of people were looking at her. "There she is," John said. "Emma, can you hold up your sign so everyone can see it?" With shaking hands, Emma held up her sign. The camera zoomed in on it. The words, "Thank you, John Cena, you saved my family," filled the big screens. You see, everyone, Emma and her family, were going through a really hard time. And instead of giving up, Emma asked for help. That took incredible bravery. And you know what? Not only is Emma's family doing great now, but they started a program that is helping dozens of other families too. Emma did not just save her own family. She started a movement of kindness that is changing her whole community. The crowd erupted in applause. Emma felt tears running down her cheeks. Her parents were crying too, overwhelmed by the recognition and love from thousands of strangers. "Emma, I want you to remember something," John continued. "You taught me that heroes are not just people who do big, flashy things. Heroes are people who care about others. Heroes are people who ask for help when they need it. Heroes are people who lift up their community. You are a hero, Emma Martinez, and I am honored to call you my friend." The crowd chanted Emma's name. "Emma, Emma, Emma!" John looked directly at the camera. "Emma, your family, would you please come down to the ring? I have something for you." Emma looked at her parents in shock. Her father nodded. "Go ahead, mi amor. This is your moment." Security guards helped Emma, Miguel, and Maria make their way to the ring. Emma's legs felt wobbly as she climbed the steps and ducked through the ropes. She was actually in a wrestling ring, and John Cena was standing right there. John knelt down so he was at Emma's eye level. "Hey, champion. Thanks for coming tonight." "Thank you for inviting us," Emma said quietly. She was so nervous her voice barely worked. John stood up and addressed the crowd again. "Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to the Martinez family. This is Miguel and Maria, Emma's parents. 6 months ago, they were struggling. But instead of letting their problems break them, they became stronger. They accepted help when it was offered. They worked hard to rebuild their lives, and now they are helping other families do the same thing." John reached over to the corner of the ring where a staff member handed him a large framed certificate. "Emma, Miguel, Maria, on behalf of the WWE and our Community Partnership Program, I want to present you with this award. It recognizes your family for outstanding community service, for creating Emma's Bridge and helping families in need." The crowd cheered as John handed the certificate to Miguel. Miguel was crying openly now, not embarrassed about his tears. Maria hugged Emma, both of them overwhelmed. But John was not done yet. "There is one more thing," he said. "Emma's Bridge is doing amazing work, but they need resources to keep growing. So the WWE and I are donating $25,000 to support the program." Emma's parents looked shocked. $25,000? That would help so many families. "But wait, there is more," John said with a smile. "We are also going to feature Emma's Bridge on our website and social media. We want to help spread the word about the incredible work you are doing." And we are going to connect you with other community programs around the country, so you can share best practices and learn from each other. Maria could barely speak. Thank you, she managed to say. Thank you so much. John hugged each member of the Martinez family. When he hugged Emma, he whispered in her ear, I am so proud of you, champion. You changed the world. As the Martinez family left the ring, the crowd gave them a standing ovation that seemed to go on forever. Emma walked back to her seat in a daze. This was the most incredible night of her entire life. The wrestling show continued, but Emma barely paid attention to the rest of the matches. She kept looking at the certificate her father was holding. She kept thinking about what John had said, that she was a hero, that she had changed the world. When the show ended and they were walking back to their car, Emma's father put his arm around her shoulders. I am so proud of you, Mija, he said. Why? I did not do anything tonight. John did everything. No, Emma. You did something 6 months ago that changed everything for our family. You asked for help when we needed it. That took courage, and because of that courage, we are here now. We are okay. We are more than okay. We are thriving. And we are helping other families thrive too. That all started with you. Emma thought about the day on the bridge. It felt like a lifetime ago. She remembered being scared and desperate. She remembered not knowing what else to do. But she also remembered John's face when he first approached her. The kindness in his eyes. The way he sat down and just talked to her like she mattered. Papa, can I ask you something? Of course. Are we going to keep doing Emma's bridge? Even though we do not need help anymore? Miguel stopped walking and looked at his daughter seriously. Emma, we are going to do Emma's bridge for as long as there are families who need help. Do you know why? Emma shook her head. Because we remember what it felt like to be desperate. We remember what it felt like to think there was no way out, and we never want another family to feel that way. If we can help even one family avoid what we went through, then it is worth it. They got back to the car and started the drive home. Emma looked out the window at the city lights passing by. Somewhere out there were families struggling just like hers had struggled. Families who needed help but were too proud or too scared to ask for it. But because of Emma's bridge, those families would have somewhere to turn. They would have people who understood. People who cared. People who wanted to help. Emma thought about John's words, never give up. She had heard him say those words 100 times in videos and interviews. But now she understood what they really meant. Never give up meant asking for help when you needed it. Never give up meant accepting help when it was offered. Never give up meant working hard to rebuild your life. Never give up meant helping others once you were back on your feet. It was a cycle, a beautiful cycle of people helping people. 2 weeks after the wrestling event, Emma's story got even bigger. A national news program did a feature on her and her family. They showed footage from the day on the bridge. They interviewed John Cena, Patricia Chen, the social worker, and several families who had been helped by Emma's bridge. The story went viral. Within days, similar programs started popping up in other cities. Emma's bridge became a movement. Community centers, churches, and schools across the country started creating support groups for struggling families, all inspired by what one 8-year-old girl and her family had done. Donations poured in from people who wanted to support the movement. Emma's bridge went from helping 40 families to helping hundreds. They were able to hire staff, open a permanent office, and create a comprehensive resource guide for families in crisis. Emma was interviewed on television and in newspapers. But she always said the same thing. I just ask for help. Everyone deserves to get help when they need it. 1 year after the day on the bridge, Emma's school held a special assembly. They planted a tree on school grounds and put up a plaque. The plaque read, Emma's Tree. In honor of Emma Martinez, whose courage to ask for help inspired a movement of kindness and community support. May this tree remind us that asking for help is brave, that helping others is powerful, and that together we can overcome any challenge. Never give up. Emma stood with her parents, her teachers, and her friends as they unveiled the plaque. John Cena was there too, standing in the back of the crowd. He had come quietly, not wanting to take attention away from Emma's moment. But Emma saw him. She walked over to him and took his hand. Thank you, she said simply. No, Emma, thank you. You reminded me why I do what I do. You reminded everyone that kindness matters, that showing up for each other matters, that we are all in this together. Emma smiled. She was not the scared little girl on the bridge anymore. She was confident. She was happy. She was part of a family that was thriving and helping others thrive. But most importantly, she had learned that asking for help was not shameful. It was human. It was necessary. It was brave. As Emma looked at the tree that had been planted in her honor, she thought about how much had changed in 1 year. A year ago, her family had been falling apart. They had been desperate and scared with no hope in sight. Now they were stable. They were happy. They were making a difference in their community. All because Emma had been brave enough to hold up a cardboard sign and ask for help. And all because Cena had been kind enough to show up and make sure that help came. That night, as Emma got ready for bed, she looked at the Cena patch on her backpack, the one that said, "Never give up." She had carried that backpack to the bridge that day, and she had carried it every day since. But now, when she looked at those words, they meant something deeper. They meant that no matter how hard things got, there was always hope. There was always help. There were always people who cared. You just had to be brave enough to ask. Emma's mother came in to say goodnight. "How are you feeling, mi amor?" "Happy," Emma said. "Grateful." "Me too," her mother said, kissing her forehead. "Me too." As Emma drifted off to sleep that night, she dreamed about bridges. But not scary bridges where she stood alone. Instead, she dreamed about bridges that connected people. Bridges made of kindness and compassion. Bridges that carried people from despair to hope. Emma had learned that everyone needs a bridge sometimes. A bridge between where they are and where they want to be. A bridge between struggling and stability. A bridge between giving up and going on. And sometimes all it takes is one person willing to build that bridge. One person willing to show up. One person willing to care. Cena had been that person for Emma and her family, and now the Martinez family was that person for dozens of other families. The cycle continued. The bridge kept extending, and hope kept spreading from person to person, family to family, community to community, all because one little girl had the courage to hold up a sign that said SOS, please help. And because when she did, help actually came.